Hello, everyone, and good evening. Not used to doing evening sprints here, so I'm sure that this will be a light crowd tonight, but I wanted to do some kind of spontaneous sprints for Bucket Listathon for those of you who want to participate. So I hope that this will give you guys a good little place to kind of stop and maybe pause, do some of either your fill your bucket prompts. So if you're just wanting to do some life tasks tonight, or if you want to sit and read with me, I am happy to have you guys here. So let me know what you plan on getting done today. If you're working on a book prompt or if you're working on a fill your bucket prompt, want to hear about all the things. I am going to be working through Ruin tonight, which I am currently on page 88. So I'm about 10% of the way through the book. I am liking it so far. I don't think I realized how long the book was. I mean, I knew it was chunky, but I don't think I realized it was like almost 800 pages chunky. So I think this will be fun to kind of, carve out a good chunk of time tonight to just sit and read and relax a little bit with you guys. So let's see who is here. We have Teresa here. Hello, Teresa. Welcome. And Julie's here. Hello. Tell me how you guys are doing, what you guys are doing tonight. Julia's here. Welcome, welcome. And Jen is here. Hope you're all well today. Yes, I hope today was a good day. Wherever you are in the world, if this is evening, if this is very early morning, I think for some of you, if you're around the world. But yeah, I hope everyone had a good day. Hello. Now, make sure that I'm pronouncing this right. Is it Elena? I don't know why. I just want to make sure that I'm saying it correctly. Elena. I love the spelling. But hello. I'm glad you're doing well. Witch Shadow just won my Discord poll, so I'll probably read some of that. But I also have a to-do list. Yes, I know I have those. I have a to-do list, but I'm going to ignore that tonight. But that's exciting that you had a Discord poll and that's done. I always debate on how long I want my Discord polls to go. I do think I saw yours close though. Editing your bucket list TBR, wonderful. Reading Strength of the Few. I am so excited to get my copy. I don't think I'm going to jump right into it though. Are you enjoying it so far, or are you like early days? What's your feeling so far? I'm reading Bridgerton by Julia Quinn. Lovely. So is that the first book in the Bridgerton series? I can't remember what order they go in. I'm assuming that's the first one. I haven't read the books. I really enjoyed the first and second season. What was the last season that I watched? Is there 3 seasons out so far? I've enjoyed the show. Oop, my comments jumped. Wasn't feeling well, oh no, and ended up taking a day off to recover. Well, I hope you feel better, Jen. Glad that you got to take a day off to help your body rest, because that's not fun to ever have to go into work when you're not feeling well. So hopefully it helped. Okay, I'm glad. I started reading Elantris a couple of days ago after DNFing Throne of Jade. I saw that you DNF'd. It does make me sad, but I understand. You'll have to let me know. Is this the first time you've read Elantris, or is this a reread for you? You'll have to let me know what you think of it as far as Sanderson land. Like where does Elantris land in some of the other Sandersons that you've read? We're winding down for the night, already did dinner and dishes, so time to get back to reading Accomplice to the Villain, about 65%. This is your, like, I don't want to call it a guilty pleasure, but like this is like your like fun popcorn read, right? I've read, what was the first one? Apprentice to the Villain. And I wanted a little bit more fantasy from it, but I can see how it would be a quick read for people. So I'm glad that you're reading it. I'm pretty sure, I'm almost positive that you're one that has said that's like your popcorn read. So it's always nice. I'm 20% of the way through, really enjoying it. That's amazing. I'm glad. I hope it continues. I don't know if you know, or maybe I'm sure that you do, because I think I was last on the train to know, but I saw an interview by James Eilington the other day that says that this series is going to be a 4-book series, which I'm very excited about because I thought it was going to end in a trilogy. I thought it was a really interesting interview because he said that he purposefully named the series, what is the Will of the Many series called? Now the series name is not in my head. But he didn't name it with a trilogy behind it. Like when he did his Lycanius trilogy, he called it a trilogy. And so he had to finish it in 3 books. He didn't do that with this one. And so he can kind of expand on it. Oh, it is hierarchy. That's right, Jen. I think it is just regular hierarchy. So he didn't name it to have like a certain number of books, which is something I would not have thought of as an author, because you do kind of like pigeonhole yourself into a certain area. Read it for the first sprint. Great. I hope you enjoy it. I'll finish Will of the Many, or I finished Will of the Many last night, waiting for Strength of the Few, should be delivered Monday. I'm so excited. I think mine gets delivered tomorrow. I'm hoping it doesn't rain. These are things that I never thought as a child I would have to like pay attention to the weather for packages. Because I hate it whenever I get a book delivered, even if it fits in the mail, although I don't think this one will, like the mailbox. But it just sits on my... I'll have to call my neighbor and see if she can come over. I have a neighbor who's retired, and I have done that before where I'll get something delivered on the porch and I'll have to text her in the middle of the day and be like, can you go and get my package, please? First time with Elantris. I'm about 10% in, so I'm waiting to see what appears to be in the story or what appears to be the story will develop into the story, like which parts of the story will develop. The pages just slip by. I can't remember when I read that what my thoughts were as far as like if it was an easy read for me. Ooh, Andy scared the crap out of me. Let me see if I can get him on my lap. So, but I do remember being intrigued with Elantris in general, like the city of Elantris. So I hope you enjoy it. I think as far as the canon goes for me, for Sanderson, I do think it's one of his works that I like the least. Not saying I didn't like it, but I do think I kind of hyped myself up because I knew it was his debut, and I think I had too high of expectations, but I hope you love it. Currently reading Havenfall by Sarah Holland. It's YA fantasy. On my 25 in 2025. I need to get back to that list, Teresa. That's a goal to finish my list by the end of the year. Well, I hope you achieve that goal. I did see that. I've been trying to guess what the title of the next 2 books will be. Oh, that's fun. Yeah, because the first 2 really go together. So it will be interesting to see how it progresses from here. Like what happens in this book that maybe will inform the title of the next book. I'm so excited to read it. You're making me want to just drop everything when it gets here and pick it up. The Villain series is just a fun, humorous, easy read. It's a nice balance, or to balance the bigger, heavier reads. Yes. Yeah, I can see that. And I like having little series like that because it's not long either. If I remember correctly, the first book was pretty short. So it's nice to have books that you can kind of pop in and out of whenever you need a little bit of a break, a little bit of, some goodness for your soul before you get into like either a big chunky read or something that's a little bit more heavy. The idea of the city and the idea of the fall is quite interesting. Yeah, I also liked, I'm trying to think, it's been a minute since I've read it, but there was one character that I really, really enjoyed from the book as well. So the character work, I like Brandon Sanderson's character work. So that wasn't something I think that was different as far as my enjoyment of that. I think that I could see in that story, for me, it felt more like which it's not even the same world, but it felt a little bit more like the writing of Mistborn. But even, I think there was more stuff because that book was pretty chunky. Not that Mistborn is short, but I do think that there was just a lot of details, a lot of almost political dynamics as well, that I think maybe muddied the waters a little bit for me, even though I usually like political. There's a lot of religious facets as well within that story. Reading The Library of Mount Char. Excited to be here. Excited to have you, Val. Got to 16, or I've got 16 left. I can read 16 books by the end of the year. Yeah, absolutely. But can I read those 16? I don't know. Can you? I guess we'll find out. Louisina is here. Hello, Louisina. Can't really stay because it's a weekday, but I wanted to jump in and say hi. Well, I appreciate it. I appreciate you being here. Totally get it. Weekdays are hard. I had to plan this one out. I was like, it's going to be Wednesday. Wednesday's going to be the day. I'm about to finish Murder in the Mews, a Poirot story short collection. Oh, nice. Only have the last story left. Man, you've been eating up Agatha Christie's. That's amazing. I hope you're enjoying it. I think I need to read more because I don't like short story collections typically, but I think I need to read more horror short stories and mystery short stories because I think those two would work for me. And actually, Christie has a couple of short story collections that are seasonal. So I don't think that they're all Poirot or like Miss Marple or anything. I think they're a mix of some of her murder mysteries. I'm trying to think of, I think the winter one is Midwinter Mysteries. I can't remember what the fall one is, but they all have like a seasonal theme. So I would like to read those at some point in time. Well, I'm glad that you guys are here, even if you can't stay. And if you can't stay, no worries. Thanks for popping in. I hope you guys have a lovely evening. Like I said, we'll be reading Ruin. I, at one point, will step away for a minute to feed him because that's why he's sitting on my lap right now, because he's hungry. Not that he doesn't like my lap, but that's really why he's here. Let's see. The comments jumped. You have been enjoying it. She's going to be my most read author this year. That's amazing. They're such quick reads and very engrossing. It's very satisfying. I do think it's very nostalgic. That's what I feel, which is weird to say for books that were written so long ago. But I do find a Christie book to be very comforting. So I understand that. I'm glad that you're enjoying it. I wonder who my most read author is going to be this year. That's an interesting question. I read a lot of the Wayward Children series by Seanan McGuire earlier this year. That'll be an interesting stat to look at, like in one of my end of year videos. Hello, small channel. Joined a little late. No worries. Hope everyone's doing well. Hope you are as well. Let us know what you're going to be doing tonight. And Miss J is here. Hello. Between the fall book in the Agatha Christie seasonal, or by the way, the fall book in the Agatha Christie seasonal books is Autumn Chills. Thank you, Miss J. Yes, I was sitting there trying to think. I'm like, I know it has autumn or something about fall in the title, but I couldn't think of it. Hello. Just finished classes. Lovely. Glad to have you here. Take a load off. Relax a little bit. Different for me because I tend not to read so many books by the same author within the same year, unless I somehow pick up a manga series. Yeah, I feel like those kind of lend themselves to that because they're short and snappy and I don't know, they're just so easy. They're easy to pick up one after the other. I have a difficulty picking up series right after the other. I am not a binging series person. I know a lot of people disagree with that because they like to binge the series so they keep all of the details and stuff in their heads. I guess I'm a glutton for punishment because I definitely wait too long and then I'm struggling. I've started to really enjoy like big chunky books like John Gwynne or Mark Lawrence did like a recap, like a little like page recap of what happened in the previous book. I like that. It's my jam. What's my favorite Wayward Children so far? Oh, all of their names. It's the one with Jack and Jill. Was that their names? Jack and Jill? Something. Let me see if I can find it real quick. That was my favorite one because, oh yeah, Down Among the Sticks and Bones. That was my favorite one so far. Although the first one was really good. So it's probably between the first one and that one. But I really have enjoyed all of them with the exception of the one with the pink and blue cover that's like cotton candy beneath the sugar sky. I don't know that I liked that one. Is this the one? I want to make sure I don't name the wrong one. Oop. I'm pretty sure it's Beneath the Sugar Sky that I didn't like. And it was fine. Like I rated it. Yeah, it's because I rated it a 3-star. I didn't hate it. It just wasn't my favorite. But The Sticks and Bones. That was my favorite one. I'll be finishing The Memory of, is it Ogisi or Agassi by Moses Oztomi or Oztomi. Only 30 pages left. You're so close. Amazing. I hope you're enjoying it since you're so close to the end. I've been having fun. They've been a highlight of 2025. I love that. Most read is Catherine Addison. She's really made my year. Oh, I love that. I'm so excited that you enjoyed the Cemeteries of Amalo series. It's great. Gotta say goodbye. Well, goodbye, Julia. Partner time now. We read together on the couch in the evenings. That's so cute. Well, good night. I hope you have a good evening. Have fun reading. Oop, my comments jumped. I like to binge series in theory, but I tend to get tired of reading the same thing, so I need to break them up. And that's one of the reasons I think I got away from binging series, because I used to, when I first started reading, I would just pick up a series and I would read it all the way through. But I think I realized how much variety I enjoy in my reading, and I do think it does make me enjoy series more if I do break them up. But I have to monitor myself essentially to make sure that I'm picking them up within a timely fashion instead of waiting, years to pick up a book. Reading The Sinister Mystery of the Mesmerizing Girl by Theodora Goss. It's the last in the Athena Club series. I love that series. I need to reread it. I saw something recently that Theodora Goss published. I'm going to start this comment and I'll come back after the sprint with the name. But there was something that Theodora Goss, and I don't know if it's a new release. I just saw it come across my feed. And I recognized her name and was like, I might need to look up that book because I really enjoyed that series. Yeah, it is so cute. That's a really fun thing that you guys do in the evenings. Sit on the couch and read together. No, the question wasn't for me, but my favorite Wayward Children is the first book. But Nancy is my favorite, so I'm biased. I heard, though, there's a Nancy book. Isn't there going to be a Nancy book? Maybe I'm wrong. But I did like Nancy. Same for me. Sugar Sky is my least favorite. Sticks and Bones and her newest one are my favorites. Amazing. I haven't read all of them yet. I stopped, I think I was 5 or 6 books in when I stopped, and I just haven't gotten back to it yet. Not because I wasn't enjoying it. I think I got into it for Get a Clue Readathon in February and then just never picked it up again. Enjoying it a lot. It's a novella and the last in a series. Amazing. So I'm interested to see how it wraps up. That's so fun. I love series like finales. I think it's so interesting to see like what an author can do, especially with novellas. Novellas or chunky reads. I think both of those have their own challenges. I mean, all writing has its own challenges, but to see an author's progression for a novella and how they're going to tie these little stories together, and then with chunky reads, how do we tie up all of the information that we've been given? I think it's fascinating to be in an author's brain. Would be really interesting. Interesting. I didn't really enjoy Sticks and Bones, even though I love the twins. Yeah, that is interesting. I think I liked it because it kind of gave me Frankenstein vibes, to be honest, like the tone of the book. And I do love the twins. Good evening, Michael. Just finished my bucket list game board. Oh my goodness, you finished already. What are you going to do now? Let us know. That's amazing. Congratulations. Are you going to take a break? Give yourself a well-deserved rest? Let us know. The next one is a Nancy book. I was going to say, I'm pretty sure you were the one who told me about it, but I was like, I didn't want to say it because I was like, maybe I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure you messaged me about the Nancy book. I do love Nancy. I'm excited. I really want, is it Christopher? I really want a Christopher book too, but I know that he already has a short story collection. So, or not a short story collection, but a short story written about him. And so I don't know that we'll get, a book by, like a full length book by him, but that's okay. A rest, a well-deserved rest, Michael. Good. I'm glad that you're going to take a minute and give yourself a break. Maybe do some fill your bucket tasks. So some things that are away from reading, away from the hustle and bustle of the game board. Well, that's amazing. I'm glad that you finished. I have only completed 2 prompts. I'm working on 2 more. And I think I've completed 3 scavenger hunt prompts at this point. So It's going to take me a minute. We'll see if I complete it in November. That's the goal, but I might have to move it to December as well. Well, friends, we are going to go on our first reading sprint. So if you guys are staying with me, I will be doing our reading sprints. If you guys have to go because it's a work night, I completely understand. No worries. I hope you guys have a lovely evening. But in the meantime, I'll be here reading. So if you need some company, join me. So I will see you guys in an hour. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from our first sprint. Let me know what you guys got up to. Did you do any reading? Did you just get some to-dos done? Did you just relax? We did have a few people pop in during that sprint, so I want to say hello before I talk about what I did. We had Nell pop in. Hello, Nell. I hope you're having a good evening. Christina is also here. Hello, Christina. And Brittany. Hello. It's been a long time, friend. I guess I feel like the gang's all back together because we've got Nell, we've got Brittany, we also have Katie here. I feel like my Battle of the Booktuber peeps are showing up. Brittany is reading A Kiss of Iron. I hope you're enjoying it. Louisina also finished her short story collection, 4 stars overall. And off to dinner and bed. I hope you have a good night. Mel also joined us. Hello, Mel. And I think we lost Teresa for just a smidge. Going to Trader Joe's. Might be back for the chatty bit. We also had Cinnamon join us. Hello, hello. And I'm going to pause here and I'll come back to the comments in just a second. So I finished through chapter 14, I think, in this, which is 116 or 2-page 116. So what was I on? I think that's 20 pages, 20, maybe a little bit more than 20 pages read. Andy was quite distracting on that sprint. I don't know if you guys were paying attention, but at one point in time, I kind of like leaned back in my chair and was reading, and he decided that he wanted to climb all the way up to the top of the chair, which is, he's done that before, and it's very hard to get him down. And so that was fun. I did go and feed him, and then now he has the Zoomies, and so he's been sprinting around my office. So we shall see if he behaves on the sprint. But yeah, and then there was something else I was going to talk to you guys about. Oh, it was Theodora Goss. I told you I would get back to this because Miss J brought up the Athena Club trilogy by Theodora Goss, which is like a really, really great series, fantasy mystery series. And I was looking at some of Theodora Goss's backlist to see if I could find the book that I was interested in. And I actually have 2 short story collections. One of them I actually just added, but the other one has been on my TBR for a little bit, and it's called The Letters from an Imaginary Country. I don't know how much of the synopsis I should even read to you because it's short story collection. So I don't know how much of the synopsis gives away, but it sounds like it's short story. It's a fantasy short story collection, but it talks about, I'll just mention a couple of things: infamous girl monsters, characters from folklore. It talks about the land of Oz. There's someone who's writing an autobiography of their alternative life. I feel like it sounds very whimsical. I really like the cover as well. And then there's another short story called The Collected Enchantments, which is a fantasy short story collection as well. That sounds really interesting. This one, I feel like maybe gives away less, but I don't know. It talks about an enchanted forest. Stepsister frets over the ways in which she failed to receive her mother's love. I don't know. They both sound interesting. So, and I don't, typically do short story collections, but I wanted to mention those since I couldn't remember the name of the Letters from an Imaginary Country. So, okay, let's see. Where did I leave off? Right here. Finished my novella, 4.5 stars. It was great. That's amazing. I'm glad that you enjoyed it. I am currently getting in my last walk of the day and doing some Instagram things. It's late to get a walk in. I mean, not like because of the fact that it gets dark at 5:30. I hope maybe your area is a little bit like well lit up, because yeah, if I walked this late, I would definitely be scared that someone would hit me with a car. But I hope your walk was good. Doing some Instagram things. Very, very much a productivity sprint. Love to see it. I've reached 18% of the Witch Shadow and worked on blocking my crochet squares. Yay! Yes, hoping someday for a Battle of the Booktubers rematch. I have in the works some thoughts. It's very, very like early days thoughts for season 2 of Battle of the Booktubers, but we'll get there eventually for a reunion. It would be really fun to do like a reunion season where I could bring people back from multiple seasons and multiple rounds in each season. It would be fun. Goals. But that's talking like 10 years down the line. But there'll definitely be some cameos from past Battle of the Booktubers in the seasons to come. Hillary is here. Hello, Hillary. I just finished my nonfiction pages for the day, and we'll be going for a walk soonish. Lots of walks. I'm jealous. We've been having to walk because my mom and I try and walk every day. We've been having to walk at 5, and even when we would start walking at 5, it gets dark by like 6. So we have a very short window between when I get home from work and when we can walk. Andy was very distracting that sprint. I was trying not to give in because when he does that and I immediately get up and feed him, I feel like I'm, teaching him the behavior to do in order to get me to get up. And so I don't want to do that. I don't know how much it helps, me not feeding him for a minute. He did like lay down finally, and that's when I got up to feed him. But I don't know. I don't know how much training you can do of a cat. When their tummy strikes, they get that distraction in them. They're determined. He was determined to be noticed. Exactly. He's like, hey, you remember me, right? You remember that you feed me every night? My feeder has already gone off once, but I don't think I've gotten wet food yet. You should come feed me. Reading The Invisible Library. The world building is very interesting. I want to go to the library. It's so much fun. I love that series. It's so interesting too. Not what I was expecting out of the book, out of the series. I think that even each book kind of surprises me, to be honest, in that series. It's a lot of fun. I hope you continue to enjoy it. Alicia's here. Hello. Just got home from dinner, getting ready to read The Irish Goodbye. Looking forward to some good reading time. I love that. Well, I hope you have a good reading time. Get to relax after dinner. It's always nice to be able to come home and kind of cozy up and read a little bit. Yes, Invisible Library is on I would love to read this before the end of the year book. So I hope you get to it, Jen. I really love that series. I've been slowly collecting them, trying to do it the old fashioned way and like look it up in like half price bookstores and like garage sales and things, because I have been lucky enough to find a couple, but I can never find like, especially now that I think I have 3 in my collection. I have the first book, and then the one I haven't read that I have is Mortal Word, and then there's one more that I have, The Lost Plot. But I feel like every time now that I look at like half price books or like in indie bookstores, or not indie bookstores, why am I not thinking of used bookstores? All I'm finding are the ones that I already own, but I will eventually collect them all. I use the walking pad indoors. Watch too much true crime to be outside when it's dark. I guess it's true. I need to get a walking pad so I could do that whenever it's wintertime, because I just bundle up and walk outside in my neighborhood. We used to have a mall around us that we could go to that would allow us to walk, but it's gotten kind of dangerous recently. And so we don't do that anymore. So it's really funny to see us walking in the neighborhood when it's like full out winter, because there'll be snow on the ground, and my mom and I will go, as long as the sidewalks are cleared, we'll walk around the neighborhood in tall snow. Just rain or shine, we're going to get our walk in. I feel that, Katie. I dive too deep in the true crime to go at it or go into the night. I can in certain areas, but yes, I 100% understand this. I had a friend who used to like to ride bikes on trails, and we have a trail around one of the rivers around us, there's a river around us that is a very small river, but there's a bike trail that's really pretty, especially in the fall, because you could see all the leaves and everything, but there's not any light. And she would go like anytime of night, 8:30. She invited me to go with her one day, and I was like, nope. You're not going to fool me. Good to know. I'm excited to continue. Yeah, you'll have to let me know what you think of it. I love it. You're back. That was really quick. But now driving, so probably no chatting. That's okay. Be safe. We love it. I'm a true crime junkie, so no outside walking in the dark for me. Plus, I actually live in a place that's not the safest. Yeah. Unfortunately, my area is starting to get that way. My neighborhood's not super bad right now, but the larger areas that I can drive to and do outdoor walking, I don't know that I would really want to do that at night. My neighborhood, I freaked myself out the other night. So walking with my mom, and there was this man who was walking in our neighborhood who was wearing a hood. Like he was just had a jacket and it was cold outside, but he was walking not on the sidewalk. He was walking in the street in the shadows because my neighborhood doesn't have a ton of street lights. And so when you're on the sidewalk, you get a street light maybe every block, 2 blocks. But he was purposely walking in the street where all of the shadows are. And like anytime we would look back at him, he would like veer off to the, and we're like, who is this person? And I saw one of my neighbors, we were getting closer to my house, and I saw one of my neighbors sitting outside by his truck while this guy was walking. And I just stopped and told my neighbor, like, hey, I don't know if you know this person, but like, there's like some creepy guy back here. And he would veer off and go up to people's doorways, not do anything, and then get back on the street. And I was like, I don't know what this person is doing. So I told my neighbor about it, and he's like, oh, I think he's here selling windows. And I'm like, in the dark? Someone needs to tell him that's not the best strategy. And I did later on find out that he was a window salesman, but not someone I will be buying windows from. Doesn't even get that cold here, but still not going to walk in a cold winter night. Yeah, I do. I bundle up and it's bad. I think I don't have a walking pad or anything, so it is hard for me to get steps in while I'm inside. But I also I prefer walking outside. But I mean, that's my only option right now. I just like the scenery to change, I guess. I should get like a video screen or whatever and watch. I wouldn't want to watch TV, but like I could watch scenery or something as I'm walking and listening to an audiobook or something. I could do that. I just suck it up and tuck myself all in, 3 different coats. It's quite miserable. Once I move to the country, I'll be good. I'll be the only one with locked doors and windows and all the dogs. So I'll be good. It was so funny. It was quite a culture shock because my parents live in the country. And so when I was growing up, we grew up on property, like a pretty large area of property. And so we had neighbors, but like you had to drive to the neighbor's house type of neighbors. And so moving to an actual neighborhood, like a suburbia type neighborhood, it was quite interesting. Just the differences, like people walk through your yard randomly, which it still bothers me to this day, but I understand the mentality, I guess, of a neighborhood. But that, and then we have like lots of like events for holidays where people just like set up, like they're like big, like they have like an Easter egg hunt throughout the neighborhood where the homeowners association, they'll come out and they'll hide eggs, but they hide them in everyone's yard, which I did not realize was a thing. And so like the first year we lived here, we had like little kids wandering our yard on Easter morning. And I was like, what is happening? Why are these little kids in our neighborhood? It was a culture shock for sure. Yeah, he is lucky people didn't call the cops on him. I was shocked because like I told the neighbor that we saw outside, and then I told my husband when I got home. But a couple of the neighbors I saw the next day, I told them about it, and they were like, "Oh, whatever." And I'm like, "What do you mean it's fine? There's some random man walking around at night. What are we doing?" Although we are the southernmost state in Australia, I think that's that abbreviation. So we're considered the coldest, but it's not the coldest part of Australia. Interesting. Mind you, there's very few places that get as cold as the northern US. Yeah. Hello, Foos. Are you back? Would you like to lay on my lap so you're not in the camera? Come here. An Andy appearance for you all. That's interesting, though, that even though it's the southernmost, That scared me. Even though it's the southernmost state in Australia, it's not the coldest. Yeah, we get, oh, I don't know what it is in Celsius though. Our cold gets into the negatives. I'm trying to think of what the average winter typically looks like. Our coldest is probably like negative teens, so like negative 10 through 20. Yeah. Wind chills a factor, a bad factor here. So sometimes it feels colder than it actually is. Voice texting. Oh, no worries. Thankfully, I have a large backyard, so I don't have to worry about people walking, or I don't have to worry about walking my dog at night. That's nice. Though he's big and scary, so I wouldn't be too concerned. Yeah, my dog is little, so that would not help me. You're still paranoid, though. I get it. I mean, you just don't know. You don't know how people are going to react, and you don't know what's in people's heads. It gets in my head. I'm paranoid about it as well. Prefer to walk outside, but it's been helpful for me when I'm on my walking pad, and I use it to work or to watch my watch later, so it feels very productive and time flies by. And I think that's what I probably should use it for, is when I'm listening to an audiobook at home, because I do sometimes, a lot of times when I'm listening to an audiobook, I'm doing chores. But if I don't have anything to do and I only have an audiobook, I don't have a physical book to read, I think it would be nice to be able to do something physically while I'm listening to the audio. And yeah, a lot of times I just end up playing cards, but walking on a walking pad would be nice. Maybe I see one in my future, Katie. 2 days ago, we had snow. Oh no. And today it was 65 degrees out. Tennessee weather is weird. Yeah, I just went on a little bit of a vacation with friends, which wasn't very far away from our house. But every day that we were there, it was in the 70s. And then on the day we left, and the weather came with us, but the day we left, the morning was 32, and it wasn't going to get above, like, the morning was the warmest temperature that day. And so it had been 70, and then all of a sudden it was 30. And then we got home, it was 29 because there was some type of a cold front that came through. Luckily, we didn't get any snow. I'm not ready for snow yet. I'm like the little grumpy old man yelling at the little kids to get out of my lawn. I've actually done that. When we first moved into this house, the people who used to live here had kids. And so we have a couple of really big trees in our yard. And our yard was the tree, like was the place that people would play in because we don't have a fence. And so we have cameras on our house, and my camera kept notifying me that there was someone in my front yard. And I went out there, and there's like 5 kids climbing my front tree. And so I went out and I was like, you need to go play in your own lawns, because like, where are your parents? Like, you could fall out of this tree, and then like, no, you guys need to go somewhere else. So I'm that person too, Teresa. I'm there with you. He's back. He's grumpy. He just wants me to leave him be. He wants me to be a chair for him. He says hello to everyone, though. Want to move out to the country, where, like you said, you have to drive to see your neighbors. I'm not a people person. I get it. He is very fluffy. He's even going to get fluffier now that it's getting colder. I can already see his coat thickening. Oh, winter floof. Hello, Anne. Listening to Guns of the Dawn and knitting. Guns of the Dawn is the Adrian Tchaikovsky, right? How are you liking it? This is on my list. I want to read this book. I hope you enjoy. I think that's the book, Guns of the Dawn. I'm pretty sure that's the Adrian Tchaikovsky. Typically, we get below freezing, but not below 0. I'm happy here. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's typical for us, but that would be like our coldest would be in the negative. And I'm sitting there thinking, because the Weather Channel has me completely messed up, because they do the whole, it feels like. And so I'm like, am I thinking the negatives are actually what it feels like, or is that our average? I'll have to look and see what our average is here in the winter months. Because the mountains get pretty cold, and the Victorian Alps and the snowy mountains get cold, as the name suggests. Okay, that makes sense. Especially higher elevations are going to be colder. That makes sense. To get my dog A walking pad. That would be funny. They actually have treadmills for dogs, and I'm debating getting one for Ranger as I'm not a runner and he is. Yeah, I had I've considered that for Cooper because Cooper is much more energetic than I am. I just don't. I think it'd freak him out because he's scared of everything. Your dog might not be because you have a German Shepherd, I think. So they tend to be a little bit more confident. So maybe they would be fine, or maybe he would be fine. But it's an interesting investment if they use it. I love like the cat wheels, like the wheels that cats will get on, kind of like a big hamster wheel. I thought about getting one of those for Andy, but I don't. I think he would just look at it and be like, "You want me to do what?" Freezing point in Fahrenheit is 32 degrees. I'm pretty sure. Yes. Thank you for confirming. I got confused by Julie's comment about below freezing, but not below zero. Yeah. We're on Celsius here, so 0 is the freezing point. That makes sense. I didn't know you could hear it. He meowed. He was not happy when I moved him. He's like, this is not acceptable. German Shepherd, I have a feeling he'd love it a little too much. I've seen some videos of like pit bulls getting on them and just going after it. I love it. So much fun. I know. I wish we all just were on the same. And I know we're the ones that are different. Everyone else in the world is on Celsius, but we have to be different. Same thing with like inches. We're in the, it's not the metric system. You guys are on the metric system. What's ours called? I don't remember. Whatever our measurement system is, that's all messed up. It does not make sense. Adrian Tchaikovsky, I'm about 1.5 hours in, and it's still set up. I don't hate it, but I'm withholding judgment for a while. Interesting. I know some Adrian Tchaikovskys do take a little bit to get into, so maybe that's just one of them. I don't remember how early on in his writing career that book existed either. So maybe it's one of his earlier works. I didn't know that book existed until I heard Rainey wanted to recommend me that in the Battle of the Booktubers, and she didn't. Well, friends, we are ready for another sprint. Let's see. It's 7:45. So if I do an hour-long sprint, this might be my last one just because I do want to be able to get back and chat with you guys. And I still need to get ready for bed and everything because tomorrow is a work day. And by the time we get back from an hour-long sprint, it'll be 8:45 for me. And I like to be in bed by 10. So that'll give me a nice time to have a little chatty bit with you, but then still be able to get ready for bed and wind down. So I know we've only done 2 sprints, but I will be back on Sunday if you guys also want bucket listathon sprints or if you just want to hang out. And I'll be around the internet and on the Discord as well. But those are the days I have sprints this week. So I think I missed one comment. Just finished my lunch and I'm going to try and finish editing before the babe wakes up. Well, good luck. I hope you finish your editing. I know that can be a rush. You're like, I have to, especially I'm not even going to say it. I hope everything goes well and I hope you get your editing done. You can check that off of your list because I know that's nice to have that in your back pocket to have those things done. Okay, so we're going to go on a sprint. I will see you guys in an hour. Hello, everyone. Welcome back from the last sprint. Let me know what you guys got done. I got to page 156, and I'll probably read another maybe 10 pages before I call it a night, just to get to a good breaking point. I really like this series, but I always avoid picking it up because it's chunky and has like 70 characters in it and all of them matter. It's a bit overwhelming. But every time I get into it and like start learning about the characters again, it's always good to get back into it. So I'm happy to be reading it. Happy Bucket Listathon pushed me to get to it. So even though, like I said, that was the last sprint. I will have another sprint though on Sunday at my normal time. I usually do 9 a.m. Central Standard Time. So if you guys are looking for other sprints, we can do that. But we can also, chat in the Discord as well. I know that some of you are on the other side of the world from me, and so it might not be as easy for you to get on to my sprints, especially when I do them in the morning on Sundays. So I'm glad that I was able to do an evening sprint with you guys. Let's see what you got done. I know we had Jamie join us. Hello, Jamie. I hope you're doing well. And Tennille is here with us. I was on a long phone call with a high school friend. Oh, fun. I hope everyone's enjoying their books. I do too. I hope you're enjoying your reads as well. We also had Victoria join us. Hello, Victoria. I'm at work and just saw you were live. Hope you had a good sprint. Yeah, it was good. Well, I hope you have a good work day, work night. I hope everything's going well, that you maybe get a little bit of time to listen to an audiobook here and there. I watched back the chatty bits. The book outlet has the Invisible Library series 1, 6, and 8. So I have 1. I'm trying to think of what is 6. Is 6 Mortal Word, or is that the one after the Mortal Word? And the first 2 books in Cogman's Scarlet Revolution series are for. Ooh, I'll have to go look at that. Good note, Tennille. Thank you. Hey, John. I'm doing well. Hope you can say the same. I hope it's getting late. I don't know when you typically go to bed, but I hope you're having a good evening, and maybe that you've had a good dinner, because hopefully you've eaten by now. I ate my dinner. Now to continue my editing so I can finally get that video out. I'm excited. Good luck with your editing. Finished my audiobook and just finished Cat Plus Gamer 8 in the nick of time. Amazing. That's the last one, right? Cat Plus Gamer 8? Or was there more? I know that the series just ended, but I can't remember if it ended on volume 8. It was a very productive day. Yes, thanks for being here, Alina. I had a great walk and spent the rest of the night reading The Blighted Stars. Are you enjoying it, Hillary? That's the one. I can't remember what the title or what the name of the author is. I'm pretty sure I read that one and I enjoyed it, but then I read the second book and I DNF'd it because I didn't like where the book went. But there was a specific reason that I don't think everyone will hold. But I did enjoy the first one. Okay, The Mortal Word is 5. I had a couple of people ask me recently if that series can be read in any order. And when I read the first 3, I think it was the first 3 books, I was like, I mean, maybe. I think really reading the first one first is probably best because of how much world building you get and like the dynamics between all the different creatures you meet. After I read book 4, I'm like, nope, the series needs to be read in order. I'm pretty sure it was book 4 that made me change my mind on whether or not it can be read in any order. Read my nonfiction book, Haley Rubin's Story of a Murder, The Wives, the Mistresses. Oh, and Dr. Crippen. This is Hallie. Sorry, I think I said Holly Rubenhold's Story of a Murder. Dr. Crippen is the serial killer, right? Why do I know that name? I think that's right. Well, I mean, it's like, it's kind of weird to say, are you enjoying it? Is it informative? I guess I should say. Bye. Have a good evening. I've been listening to The Eyes of the Dragon by Stephen King and A Forgery of Fate by Elizabeth Lim. Are you liking them? Or are you still debating? Scarlet Revolution is historical fantasy. Okay, it's book 6. Sorry, 2 separate sentences. Scarlet Revolution is historical fantasy, and book 6 is the secret chapter. Book 8 is the untold story. Okay. I love how all of them have like little book like riffs, like the mortal word, the untold story, the secret chapter, like one of them's burning pages. I like it. I'm such a book nerd. Crippen and Linev have been apprehended and just returned to England. Interesting. I like reading books like that, but I also feel, I think I would like those nonfictions better than some of the nonfictions that I've picked up recently. I just find them interesting, but I have to read them at the right time, like when my brain's in the right headspace. Volume 8 was the last. Okay. It is one of my favorite mangas this year for sure. I need to get back to that series. I've read the first 3, I think, and I didn't continue. And I really should just binge them. I just need to get all 8 from my library and sit down for a weekend and have like a cozy time with Cat Plus Gamer. I'm still early on, but I like the vibes. Good. That's the author, Megan O'Keefe. I was like, I had it, I could see it on the page, but I couldn't figure out what it was. I want to read, there's a book by Megan O'Keefe that is a standalone that I've had on my TBR, and I think it's a recent release, but I'm not going to remember the name of it. I just want to try more of her stuff because I really did like The Blighted Stars. I just didn't like, and that's why I wanted to try the standalone, because of where the series went with Blighted Stars. I think I would enjoy more if I could just have a standalone with their writing. My cat is in a hard snuggle on my chest. I love this. Very cozy vibes, Jen. I think I'm enjoying both, but neither will be new favorites. Hey, that's okay. Sometimes you just need some okay books. That way, whenever you get the ones that are really special, it's like, yes, this is the one. Crippen murdered his wife and his mistress. Her involvement in the murder wasn't proved in court. They were caught fleeing on a ship to Canada. Okay, I have heard of this. Is this the one that I'm pretty sure this is the one that the anniversary of them getting caught is recently, or is soon, right? I feel like I heard Leander talking about this recently, but I can't remember the details. The Dark Archive is the only one that doesn't fit the pattern. The Masked City, I really like that series. It's so good. It's kind of a popcorn series for me because I think I could reread that series infinitely. Like I don't think I would ever get tired of it because and I'm not saying that the stories don't stick with me, but there's so much to hold on to. There's so many details and like little nooks and crannies that you can get into in the stories. It's just so fun. I love it. Reading King's Sorrow by Joe Hill, just under 200 pages of 877. I'm really loving it so far. Jamie, you'll have to tell me if you think that it would be one that I should try, because I know this is a fantasy horror. I've never read anything by Joe Hill. But I've had my eye on this one, so you have to tell me if you think by the end of it that it's something I would enjoy. But I hope you continue loving it. It sounds like you're having a great time. Have you read Velocity Weapon? Maybe that's what it was. Is that the one with the big ship on the front? I do think I've had that in my on my TBR. Let me pause and look that up real quick because I'm almost positive that's the book with the big. Yes, or at least I think it was a big ship. Yeah, this is the one that's on my want to read list. It came out in 2019. Although it's part of a series. I thought it was a standalone. Maybe there's another Megan O'Keefe book that's a standalone. Let's see if I can look at it real quick. Oh, the two lies of Faven Scythe, I think is a standalone, and that's the one. That's the new release. It's on my TBR. So lots of books by her that I would like to give a try. I've been reading The Courting of Bristol Keats by Mary E. Peterson. Do you enjoy it? What do you think so far? I've also wanted to try Velocity Weapon by Megan O'Keefe. I think it sounds interesting. I've been in like a sci-fi mood recently, so although now I'm in like epic fantasy mood because of what I've been reading, but I do think this year has been heavier on sci-fi for me as far as like vibes of me wanting to pick certain things up. But that one's definitely been on my list. An interesting book. Reuben Hold is a social historian, and her point is to expand the knowledge around his background. He's a con man, and to talk about the murdered women and her life and experiences. I really like the shift in narratives like that recently, at least from what I've heard. It might not be a recent shift, but I like the fact that nonfiction and even fiction, I think there was a fiction book called The Five that focused on the five women that Jack the Ripper killed. I like the shift in focusing on the victims' families and highlighting things other than just the serial killer. I mean, obviously, like you said, that they're focusing on his background, but even that is a different focus. It's shining a light in different things than like the typical kind of true crime stories. And I think I like that shift. I got lucky and my Libby hold came up. The audiobook is great. Good to know. I'll have to see how long of a hold it is. I'm sure that it has a ton of books on hold. I actually, this isn't the same book, but The Merge is a sci-fi book that I really want to read. And it just came up on my Libby and I'm debating on whether or not I want to suspend my hold because I don't really think I have time to read it right now. So I understand this, that like you feel lucky that you get the book so quickly, especially when they're new releases and they have a well-known author. So you know the length of the line is probably going to be rather long, but I'm glad that you got it and that you're enjoying it. The author's starting a new series. I didn't know that. Genevieve Cogman, is that right? It involves a boarding school for girls, demon summoning, dark academia, and a hapless Latin teacher. And I like to think of it as somewhere between St. Tyrion's and Frost. I don't know that, with a dash of P.G. Wodehouse. I don't know that either, but I would read it just because it's Genevieve Cogman. Interesting. I didn't know. Oh, okay. Well, cool. I didn't realize it was the same author. The Five has been on my list for a while to read. I haven't read it yet, but I do think the premise is really interesting. I have The Five on my TBR this month. I'll be talking about this exact subject in my TBR video. Amazing. Great minds think alike. Love to see it. Had some struggles, so I wanted to read, or I've had some struggles, so I want to read, but it hasn't been happening as much as normal. I kind of want to read Strength of the Few sooner rather than later, but who knows when my copy will arrive. Yeah, I mean, and it doesn't hurt to wait. If you have other things that you can occupy your mind with, I don't think that it's a bad thing to take a break, because sometimes that can almost refresh whenever you do pick up, especially a book that you're waiting for. Hopefully, your copy of Strength of the Few comes sooner rather than later. Love Pearson's writing. Bristol Keats is her first adult novel, and it's been good. Amazing. I'm glad you're enjoying it. I really appreciate her work to fill out the picture of these people who've been reduced to stereotypes or jokes. Yeah, it's nice. It's nice to be able to see, you know, the other side of the mirror, the curtain. That's what I was going for. Like the Invisible Library series better than the Scarlet Revolution, but then again, I'm iffy on historical fantasy. I do like historical fantasy, but I think it depends on how much fantasy there is. I'll say that. Like, I think like Emily Wilde's is historical, but I think that there's enough fae within it that I don't mind. I'm trying to think. I guess I'm leery because a lot of historical fantasies will lean historical with magical realism instead, and that I'm not a super big fan of. So, yeah. I still need to get to the Will of the Many. I think you're going to love it, Teresa. I hope you do. Ahoy! Hello, welcome. Well, friends, that is all she wrote for me. I need to get ready for bed because I have about an hour until my bedtime. I had a couple more comments come in though. Just put the Will of the Many in my 26th and 26th list, so Strength of the Few needs to wait. Well, I hope you enjoy it. I loved the Will of the Many, and I am so excited that Saga Press ended up. This is like such a weird thing to be excited about, but I got the original edition of the Will of the Many that has like the blue cover with the pillars, and Saga Press is now printing the Strength of the Few with a reversible dust jacket, and it matches, and I am so excited. But I hope you enjoy the Will of the Many in 2026. Scarlet Revolution is the Scarlet Pimpernel, but where oh my goodness, you're testing me. This late at night. Aristocracy are literal vampires sucking the life out of the peasantry. Interesting. I mean, I'm definitely gonna look it up. I'm trying to think. I didn't know, and I know that Genevieve Cogman has been writing for a really long time. So I don't know why I haven't picked up anything by her other than the Secret Library or the Invisible Library. I also own the Invisible Library and realized it's adult, not YA. Yep, it is indeed. Thanks for fitting in the time on a weekday. Yeah, thanks for being here, Jen. I appreciate it. Hope you have a good evening. Yeah, thanks for being here, Teresa. It is. It's fun. It's fun to do it on a weekday. We don't do this very often in the evening. It's a very cozy night for me. So I appreciate you guys all being here. I hope that you're having fun with Bucket Listathon and with other items if you're not participating in Bucket Listathon. I really do appreciate you guys taking your time to chat with me a little bit about the books that you're reading. And I hope that you have a really good evening, that you get a good night's sleep tonight. And I'll see you around the interwebs. Bye, guys.